Hello and happy Sunday, Detroit. This is Aaliyah Moore. As always, sometimes I will not be on here long at all, but it is back to school, Detroit Public School, Community District, parents, staff, students, administrators. It is back to school tomorrow, y'all. We have had a beautiful summer. Hope everybody that had a good summer and did some things, relaxed. Just had a good, productive, relaxing summer. But this is our last school, Detroit. I thank you all so much for going to all 13 schools with me, whoever has been watching my videos describing Detroit Public Schools community districts, the 13 schools that cannot sustain themselves, meaning that they do not have enough students in population on a daily to cover operational costs. Today I am at Emerson. Now I went to Edison before, which was on Grand River. And if I'm not mistaken, they also have a Montessori program. But I know for sure that Emerson, even though the sign doesn't say it, it is a Montessori program here. It is a K through 8 building. Roughly, off of West Kentfield. So I'm close to Wayne State area, off the freeway, But supposedly the slides that Dr. Nikolai Vitti presented to the board when talking about these 13 schools, Emerson Montessori, they are only utilizing 36% of this building. It is a K through 8 building. In 2019, 2020, their population was 103, and they have been climbing up since then to this past year, 23, 24, being at 215 students. The superintendent recommended to the board that the school continue to meet the needs, that they get more time to continue to enroll and improve in enrollment, and also increase the number of seats in lower grades if teachers and parents can be hired to build enrollment improvement and address demands for seats in primary. So basically, maybe in the lower grades, K through maybe first, second, third, or maybe just the lower grades, there's a demand versus not too much as they get up in grades. So basically focus on the lower grades, see if they can hire more teachers and paras. But Detroit Public School Community District must know that, if I'm not mistaken, this is the third consecutive year that kindergarten teachers have not had a para in their classroom. So, you got to make it make sense. Now you want to increase perhaps at certain schools paras because of the demand of the lower grades, but you let go paras or give them opportunities to go in the lunchroom. Or I forgot the other opportunity for a para. I do apologize, Detroit. But Emerson. So basically, this school is kind of like Clara Barton. Am I saying it right? We're just giving more time and more advertisement and focusing on the lower levels, but mainly both schools are hopeful. Not like Catherine Blackwell and Ann Arbor Trail, which will be closed. Recommendations anyway from Dr. Nikolai Vitti by 25, 26. So, thank you, Detroit, though. I will say it again for following me throughout these schools. I'm going to name them right now before I post them tomorrow because it is back to school. I want to make this video very light. Just say a prayer and for every staff, student, administrator, teacher, everybody that's going back in these buildings, custodians, lunch staff, that they have a beautiful day tomorrow, productive week, and just a good year, But these schools that Detroit, you have helped me get through. 13 schools that cannot sustain themselves. We had Ann Arbor Trail. We had Barton Elementary, Catherine Blackwell, Crockett Midtown High School of Science and Medicine, David Aerospace, Detroit International Academy, Detroit Lions Academy, Frederick Douglass, the DPSCD Virtual School, Edison, Emerson, Northwestern, and Pershing. So these are the 13 schools. So, you know, these will be in conversations as this school year goes on top of the set of cohort schools that I'm not even going to touch today on this video because I'm keeping it light and positive. But seriously, you know, those schools will be up for conversation. Once again, the district, Dr. Nikolai Vitti, and the board will be having a culture and climate retreat. I said it before in another video. I will say it again. A retreat to discuss the culture and climate for this district. Detroit still needs to look out for the potential of the board voting for 5 diplomas. 2 board members insisted that Dr. Nikolai Vitti and his team go back, get some more input from other high schools instead of just 2 high schools. And we'll go from there. But Detroit, this is it. This is the last of the schools out of the 13. So thank you so much for being interested. Thank you for your questions, your comments, your concerns, your inboxes, your, you know, text message, everything that is related to this district, and just reaching out to me about questions. Even if I don't know the answer, I just appreciate people taking out the time to look at these videos because, you know, as I've said it from the very first video I ever did, you know, these are basically done because I want, you know, the community to know what's going on with our schools. Our schools are very important to our city, and we need to know what's going on. Not just relying on, you know, your TV, even your Facebook, even your newspapers to really tell you what's going on. You know, and the only thing I'm trying to do is just spark the interest so that you can do your own research and come up with your own conclusions, Detroit, because it's not about what I'm saying. And this is one of the libraries. Shout out to, what's her name? Alicia Merriweather. She is the one that, when she was interim superintendent, I believe, she brought the cubbyhole libraries to the district. So shout out to her. Shout out to the schools that are still utilizing the cubbyhole libraries. It's nothing like a librarian, a librarian, but as long as it's a space where a child can get a book, take a book, read a book, you know what I'm saying, it's a good thing. So just have a good day tomorrow, Detroit, and have a good week. You know, try not to holler at the kids too much in the morning. Send them off on a positive note. You know, send them off with some encouraging words. You yourself start speaking a little encouraging words about the year and about what's going to happen. You know, if things are not positive and you continue to try to make them positive, you know, just speak into existence the courage for you to, you know, speak up and speak out, or encourage others around you to do the same. You know, even if you're not willing to do it, encourage the next person that's willing to do it and that is able to do it and that has been doing it. Just continue to give them encouragement, because speaking out is not always easy, but definitely at this time it is needed. I am running for Detroit Public Schools Community District School Board. It's a lot of things going on throughout the United States with public education, but a lot of these superintendents are clowning in some of these states, you know, okay with teachers getting arrested at board meetings and boards, even in the state of Michigan, you know, doing things similar to our Detroit Public Schools Community District School Board, you know, leaving the public out in the arena or in the space for 2 hours while they in closed session, you know, just doing things, you know, to disrespect the people that got them in the positions. And so, you know, it's not just in Detroit. You know, we have our own issues, both good and bad. But, you know, we also have to know that it's not just happening here. And if in any position, if someone is able to just kind of run freely with no true accountability, no true, management, anything has the potential of happening. Another state superintendent did supposedly 21 different things and didn't get the approval of the school board, so she got fired. But it's just like I said, it's up to the people, it's up to the school board. It's up to the school board to hold the superintendent accountable, but it's up to the people to hold the school board accountable, to hold the superintendent accountable. So enjoy your Sunday night. Get y'all rest. Know them babies, some of them, they done put their outfit out, they shoes, they ready. Just be as positive as you can going into these buildings. But be honest with yourself. Give them time, because everything ain't going to be perfect the first week, second week. It takes time for the everyday operations to start having a flow, and where things are a little more settled. Kids are staying in classes instead of being moved, or, it takes time. But just go in the building, with a positive mind, whichever building you're going into. But, give them some time and just start taking notes, taking your own mental notes, asking questions. If things are said to be in place and they're not, ask the principal. It's always a chain of command. If the principal is not available over time, that principal has a supervisor. It's always somebody that can address your issue. It just may take a little bit more time and energy for you to investigate. But if your concerns are worth it, and our babies are always worth it, it's going to work itself out once you put in a little work. And, but Edison, Emerson, Catherine Blackwell, all these schools, hopefully the enrollment will pick up, the advertisement will pick up, and quite a bit of people are interested in the Montessori program. So we'll see what happens with Edmondson. I'm sorry, y'all. But be well, Detroit. Thank you so much for your support. I'm going to need it, as I keep saying. But, 3 seats are up, 22 people running. As I always say, may the best people be in those seats. But either way, I'm going to continue to do what I do. But, we do need Detroit in whatever capacity you can to, just do whatever you can so that our babies, our staff, our district, can continue to rise and, be able to use the money that's here to properly give these babies and staff the opportunities. And that's all I talk about, is the opportunities to rise. See y'all. Have a good night, y'all.